The following podcast contains adult themes and adult language. Listener discretion advised.
And although we joke, if you or someone you know is affected by or a victim of domestic violence, dial 1-800-799-7233 or visit the National Domestic Violence Hotline's website, thehotline.org.
But it's always the husband, it's always the husband, it's always the husband. I'm gonna keep it.
Hi, this is Sarah.
And this is Megan.
And you're listening to It's Always the Husband podcast.
Welcome. We're back.
We are. We're back from a short break of staring at the wall.
We did a lot of wall staring in the last couple weeks.
It was wonderful.
And now we've forgotten how to actually be podcasters again.
Completely.
Like I just sat here going, What do I do again?
Right.
I don't know.
We don't know. We didn't know before, but we don't know now either. So it's okay. It balances out, kind of.
So we missed you all, and I know you guys have been great. You've been leaving us little notes on
I know, that's
Facebook.
Nice. It makes us feel like we
matter to
or
someone.
like, matter a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So thanks for the encouragement and the well wishes and all the funny stuff you use.
It is nice.
It makes us feel good.
It does.
Real good.
You know
Since we're underappreciated in every other aspect of our lives.
Yeah. I go to a job, like I said, where someone puts on a shiny, pointy metal boot and kicks me right in the cunt all day.
Ow.
And that's my job. And I can't, you could say, why don't you get another job? I'm in a type of job where I can't. You literally can't.
What? We don't know how to function if we're not smelling
I have no
stinky armpits.
No other skills. And you're in where you just are stuck. With your retirement stuff, you're stuck.
Yeah.
It's a cruel kick crotch job because you're in it till the end. You're in it to win it.
To the end.
Anyway, I thought we would go over some patrons that joined during our break.
It is 2025, and we have Patreons up the ass.
We did watch. They did force me to watch Babes in Toyland, which is a miscarriage of justice. But I do have it on video. But I have to. It's two different formats because Nutbar was certain her SD card would contain the whole thing, but the bitch was incorrect.
She sure was,
and didn't know what she was talking about, and she was talking about her talking out of her ass per norm
once again.
And so we have it on. I have to edit it together, and I could have done it during the break, and I just didn't because I have to. It's going to be. So I will try to get that on because we videotaped ourselves watching the Vomitous movie, made for TV movie, Babes in Toyland. But I enjoyed watching it, actually.
We found out that it was made in Germany, too.
It's German, which makes sense.
The absolute lunacy of it all.
So I'll get that on for our Patreons. And then we'll get some more bizarre cases where it's not always the husband up there.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this one today because as I was watching, I kept getting madder and madder. And I feel like this guy might be my most hated guy.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know why. He just really fucking rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I think I know why.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, so let's not talk about that yet because we have to, do our spiel and let's find out about our Patreon.
We have Tanya Moore, who I think has been before.
I know Tanya Moore. I think she just got engaged. I'm friends with her on Facebook, and I think she got proposed to on the beach. So
I know that's
Tanya.
romantic.
We're excited.
Amma Butler. Vanessa Toller Bingham. She sounds like very fancy.
Yes, she does.
Anne Fenstermacher Fenster. No, she's like Burgermeister Burger.
Oh.
No. Anne Fenstermacher.
Uh-huh.
Malwina Kopinski.
Oh.
Wendy Taylor. Rebecca McVeigh.
Wow.
Joey Michelle, and I think we had Rachel Marie, but I didn't want to forget her, so I added her again.
Okay.
So thank you, all of you.
Wow. That makes me feel good about myself.
But we have Lucy Albright, who is a Momoa
no
level. So
Lucy in the sky with diamonds and Jason Momoa.
I'm going to try to play this now. I don't know. Where he's trying to do an interview with puppies. So we'll try to listen.
I like puppies.
No, you don't.
I hate them. Just joking. Oh.
Hello, I'm Jason Momoa, and I'm going to do interviews with BuzzFeed and puppies. I'm very excited. Bring me my puppies. Oh my goodness. Hi. Did you already go poop?
Yeah, I did. Every day.
If I see him again, I will go poop. Yes.
Thank you so much, Lucy, for being a great Momoa Patreon
I know.
supporter. I forgot that we said we were going to get new Patreons.
Oh, no,
Remember?
levels. We were going to get levels.
We were going to do new levels
foreigns.
with some foreign men.
Canadians and some British.
Yeah.
I know. I got to do that too.
We're gonna get it together
I know.
someday.
Yes.
Yeah.
That we can do. We can add like a $7 and
or we could just switch some up. Like maybe Burt Reynolds isn't as appealing to us anymore as he once was.
But see, he's the lowest level. Who else? You can't have a hot guy at a low level. You just got to have a Burt Reynolds.
Well, maybe we could switch him out for who's the guy that you love with the you have the T-shirt of him? Charles Nelson Riley.
Oh,
maybe he could be a
yeah.
$2 for a while.
He doesn't really like the ladies.
No.
He's not into the gals.
No, but that's fine.
He's into the sirs.
All right. Well, so we had a very relaxing
Yeah.
break, and we're happy to be back talking to you now. This is a true crime podcast, but as one of our listeners so eloquently put on a review about us, if you're listening for like a real true crime analysis,
or like learned people,
this isn't the
for you.
place. We just basically watch something and make fun of the actors or the reenactment. We make fun of the murderers.
Right.
And-
we make fun of the show's interpretation of the crime.
And then we just, add our own bullshit in between. And we also talk a lot about our lives. So, sorry, but that's what you're getting
that's
when
what
you're
it
with
is,
us.
you know? What are you going to do?
All right. So every week we talk about our glitters and the shitters, something that made the drudgery of living our lives bearable.
Yeah.
Sarah, it's January 2025.
Oof.
What is
Yeah.
your first glitter in the shitter?
Mine is, let's say you're a hairy bitch. I used to have a Sasquatch crotch. A crotch of a Sasquatch. Sasquatch.
Okay.
But I attend laser hair removal.
Oh my God.
For the crotch, a Brazilian, and it works like a charm.
Wow.
There is not a hair left. You have to go to multiple sessions.
How many sessions did you go to?
Well, I've done 4 and I have to do 5 more.
Oh my God.
But already at 4 there's nothing. But 5 more is then permanent.
Do they zap it and it just falls off?
No, you have to shave.
Oh,
and
you
then
have to
they
shave it all the way down?
zap it and it just doesn't grow back.
I've clearly never done this before.
You have no dignity.
Really?
It's the most, you just lay on a table naked from the waist down as someone zooms in on your puss and zaps it with a laser.
Oh no.
if I wasn't 50 and just had no dignity already, I think I would have been too humiliated at all to ever do this. I never went for waxing because I was always too humiliated. But now I was just like, I don't care anymore. But it was too bad. I couldn't even put on a swimsuit because it was just absolute nonsense. Yeah. And this has been like I would want to do like my pits and leg. It works so well. Like I'm so amazed at how.
Is it really expensive?
Well, not really.
Do you want to give a shout out to the place that zaps the shit out of your crotch?
In Lakeville. And it literally, my session lasts, it takes 3 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. I go to Pro Skin Aesthetics and Laser in Lakeville.
All right. Shout out.
They're very nice, and they make you not feel like a humiliated fool as you're naked getting zapped.
That's great.
But I just, and it doesn't really hurt, because it is like a laser zapping you.
It's not burning?
No, I don't think so. But I have a higher pain tolerance. But I can't believe it. It works way better than I thought. It's amazing. And you can just have, smooth skin without having your pubes down to your knee in the summer.
Wow. All right. Should I try it?
Yeah. I mean, then you never have to shave or do anything ever again. It's just.
My issue is that I don't have enough money to do all of the things that I want.
But I did a Groupon, and so I got 6 for the price of
God.
like
I haven't
2.
done a Groupon for
years.
Oh,
I know.
I forgot they even existed.
So, yeah, there was a Groupon for this, and so I got for the price of 2, I got 6, and then I just bought 3 more because I wanted to do 9. So I just really killed it all.
Okay.
It's been wonderful. Like it's something that actually is working for me. I've been, and knowing I can just put on a swimsuit and not have to be like, oh my God, I can't go in public, or I have to wear like old lady bloomer 1912 swimsuit.
I know,
because of the embarrassment of the Sasquatch crotch.
I'm so happy.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you. That's great. Do you want to know what mine is?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you. I lost my mind, and I just said I don't even like dogs that much. Like I own a dog. I don't want people to say like she's such a bitch because she hates dogs. Like I don't want them to die. I like them okay, but they're like, I'm just not that much of a pet person.
No.
I have a sensitive nose and I can smell every single dog.
Yeah.
I can smell my own dog. Like some people just like don't smell things and I do.
Yeah. That's why my house to her is very smelly.
I'm sure mine smells like shit for other reasons. Probably because my husband farts all the time in it. But so for some reason, I have been watching Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer, on all those like stupid TikToks and reels, and I will literally watch that asshole for hours train dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even understand what he's talking about sometimes.
And he goes, tss. Jamie does that all the time. Tss.
And then he's like,
I do it
your
to my
energy
deodorants
blah, blah, blah.
too.
You snap him out of it.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do. I need to see if it works
say it
on
sometimes
kids.
to them. just
snap you out of it. Snap you out of it. And it's unreal. I can't.
I love it. Yeah, he's fascinating.
I don't get it. I don't get how he's like a magician.
Yeah.
He literally understands something that I feel like I will never understand. But I know they're old. They're like from 1,000 years ago, and I still.
Jamie does that all the time and uses his stuff all the time.
I know, I've
and the
heard
dogs
Jamie do it.
Totally respond to him, and to me, they would just piss right on my face. But to him, they totally respond.
You need to start watching them.
I know he does that. When I find myself doing it at the deodorant factory, then I laugh hysterically to myself.
I'm gonna try it now.
I just go right in their neck.
And then sometimes he gives him a little back kick, like he gives him a little boop. And he goes, it doesn't doesn't hurt him just to snap him out of it.
Yeah.
Just, and I'm like, God.
Oh, that's an awesome one.
I don't know why, but I'm obsessed now.
Oh, it is.
It's because my own dog is out of control. Like if I step she only loves Phil, who does literally nothing for her. Never took her outside, never potty trained her, whatever. But she is his leader. He is her leader for whatever reason. And then if I get too close to him, like if we're talking in the kitchen or if he like puts his arm around me, she literally just stands there and barks.
Oh,
Because she's a psycho, overprotective, jealous, crazy dog. Like, what have we done? I need to just
yeah. You need to all over
snap her out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I've been doing with my times
I love it.
while steering and watching dog training.
Yeah, same. And we have our Facebook group, Instagram, and all that you can follow us on. In our Facebook group, you can ask to join and come on in. People have been asking to join every day, and I've been.
I know. I let some people in too.
I have enjoyed in our Facebook group people bringing Dr. LaPointe back to my attention. Dr. LaPointe was in our
LaPointe is
episode that was blue.
Was it Prussian blue?
Prussian blue, where Dr. LaPointe was the only doctor that figured out this woman was being poisoned.
And also he is handsome.
I loved him, and I wanted him to point his wang to my Sasquatch crotch.
But now he's apparently come back. He was on some other show, right?
Wherever he is on, I'll watch LaPointe.
You need to get, like McCracken Poston told us at book club, he has like a Google alert. You need that
For
on
LaPointe?
LaPointe.
Yeah.
So you can just like
So I can just stalk him?
Yeah. Be like his real life stalker.
Yeah. Just show up at his house and sexually assault him.
So
and
that was
harass
Jen
him.
Center, right?
And Kristen Renee.
And
they
Kristen
both
Renee.
brought
Okay.
LaPointe into the group again, and I enjoyed it.
Thanks for bringing LaPointe back.
I know.
So I saw a couple of things. The one that I have one that made me laugh or like kind of was gross, and then one that made me want to vomit, and then one that just I thought was stupid, and I need to vent about it. Okay.
Yeah.
One that I kind of liked was Sean O'Connor D'Antonio had the picture of the box, and it said eating instructions: open flaps and munch.
Oh, Jesus, gross.
And I was like, that's kind of funny. Like it made me
It is
laugh.
funny, but
then it grossed me out, which brought me to the next one, which was Shannon Jensen posted that thing that said oral sex is the main cause of throat cancer.
well, I guess if you have HPV,
Right now.
it would be.
Yeah. But
Isn't
like
that's
all
yeah.
across the board.
Yeah, I guess if you have HPV.
Like not even smoking or anything. Oral sex is what's causing throat cancer.
Gross.
What's happening? It's just rampant. No one's taking care of it anymore.
HPV or or throat cancer.
Well,
Don't you get the? I guess you can. Well, the youngs have the vaccine. That's old.
well, this
Sweden
is
are fuck out of
alarming.
luck.
Yeah, don't they say like Ava Perón? Wasn't that one of the reasons why she
Because she was given so many beads.
died? No, because her husband
Oh,
was like had a wandering wang or something. Am I making this up?
I don't know. Did she get the SIF?
I thought she had cancer.
Oh, she gave him a beach and got throat cancer
no,
from his
I think
wandering wang.
I think it was her like
Oh,
uterus and
oh.
stuff.
I don't know. Isn't that how? What's his name? Married to Catherine Zeta-Jones. He got throat cancer. He said it because he was
Eating
munching her
people out.
box.
Oh God. Yeah, she had cervical cancer and yeah,
Gross.
they think it was
That's
because
sad.
of HPV. I think. But don't quote me on that Because remember, everything you hear here is just us
We
making
don't know.
shit up. We
Yeah.
don't know anything. And then the thing that I'm really mad about is why the fuck are they making a He-Man movie?
I don't know. I mean, because I know of He-Man, but not a whole lot know of He-Man. And maybe some people became learned of He-Man due to this podcast because I am a He-Man aficionado.
But you are 50, Sarah.
Yes.
You're 50 years old.
Right.
Who's old enough to pay money to go to a movie and wants to see He-Man, a guy riding on a fucking cat?
I don't know. I think it's a mistake. But it's Chris Hemsworth, so I would go and see his abs and his wang.
But why can't they just like make another, I don't know, do a movie about
Because
cavemen
nobody has-
and make him run
yeah.
around, do that, like do something new.
Nobody
knows
has
He-Man.
no, I know, but nobody has a new idea. No one does.
It's really frustrating. And when I listen to your other podcast that you cheated on me with,
Yeah.
when I listen to you guys laugh hysterically about all of the gayness surrounding He-Man,
Yes.
like Battle Ram and
Prince Adam's skin tight bulge purple tights.
yes, and what's the ghost?
Oh, Orko?
Orko?
Yeah.
Like, then I just die even more. And
Yeah, it's pretty gay. And Tila's trying to bang all of them, and they all ignore her, even though she's wearing,
likes her.
even though her puss and her tits are out all day, and she can't get a guy to bang her to save her life. They all are like, no thanks.
I can't quite figure it out.
It's an odd show, but it belongs in the 80s where it was beloved. I don't know if this generation would get He-Man.
I don't think Rory knows what He-Man is.
No kids know what He-Man is. You had to be
So
in
are
the
they-
80s where you didn't question anything. It was.
You just played with
Yeah. It made sense to
a
an
guy
80s kid
in
or
a
a 70s
loincloth.
kid. Yeah. It just was. It made sense. But now, if you question it in this day and age, there's questions.
Yeah.
And they can't be answered.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm just frustrated.
and why did He-Man just wear the loincloth?
I don't know. Because everyone else was sort of wearing
I mean, they kind of
clothes.
had clothes.
Skeletor had an
He
outfit.
had a clothes. Yeah.
She-Ra's boobs were all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Weren't they?
She had a nice set of cans.
Was she his
His
sister?
sister, yeah.
Oh, she was?
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, see, I don't even know. I just, whatever. Just try something new. You know what is new? The book that we read
Yes.
for book club this month.
It is new.
And I mean, it's from the summer,
Right.
but it's so fucking good.
I loved it.
We both loved it. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm scratching my armpit right now. I don't know what's going on. I have an itchy armpit. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this book is in my top 5 favorite books of all time.
Yeah, it was.
I really, really liked it.
I really did too because I had no idea where it was going. You know, because
And
it was just a story of people.
It was like so beautifully written,
Yeah.
and like literary technique, and oh my God. And sometimes I was like, what is going on? And then I was like, I think I'm not supposed to know what's going on. Like
Right.
it's
You
supposed to
just
feel
didn't
like I'm
know- yeah.
in it and it's happening.
Like
and it's
anything could
confusing.
happen.
Yeah.
And you didn't know where it was going or what was going to happen.
Oh, and
Yeah.
every time a chapter ended, it was like the perfect spot to
Yeah.
end. I can't wait to talk about it. So if you have not read All the Colors of the Dark, it's a longie,
It's long.
but it is so worth it. We're going to meet virtually on January 28th at 7:30 Central Time. The invite is on our Facebook group page, so you have to be in the group. Excuse me. And then we just meet on Zoom and talk about it and have wine together, but from our couches all across the country and all across the continent.
Right.
Yeah. So join us. Okay.
All right. Should we start this story?
Let's fucking talk about this most hated man of my life.
Yeah, this guy was a weirdo too. Well, they always are. They always are.
Ugh.
We watched a show. This was suggested by
Katie?
No. I'm trying to.
Oh my God. Who suggested? Well, when I started watching this, I was like, oh my God. I think they just did the Dateline podcast of this because Dateline podcasts always just pop up on my feed right away. So sometimes, especially the shorter ones, I'll just listen to them quick as I'm going to and from work.
It was a Dateline.
Yeah.
Listener Chelsea Connors sent this one. So it's a show called Meet, Marry, Murder. So it's actually, these will all work.
Yeah.
If it's,
really every single one. Yeah.
It's season 1, episode 31 called Covlin because it's Rod Covlin.
And it's spelled Covlin.
Yeah. And it's on Peacock.
And you're going to want to look this guy up because he's a dumbass.
Oh, yeah. So we started in 1998, which
God,
is
the glory days.
over 25 years ago. That's I feel like it's like
98, 08, 18. It's
35 years ago.
5 years ago.
What did it? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we were in college.
I have several feet in the grave.
You have like a foot and a half.
Oh, well, we meet this lady Shele, but her name is Shele Shele.
That's weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shele Danishefsky.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a very successful gal. And she's cute as a button. She has
really
blonde
pretty.
hair, very put together. And she is living in Upper West Side, Manhattan. And I feel like, is that a fancy area?
Yeah.
Because she makes a lot of money. Although her apartment seemed like it was very shitty.
I was unimpressed by her dwelling.
Shit show. It's like a shitty apartment, Anoka apartment in Minnesota, which I lived in, and they're shitty.
I'm kind of confused by that.
Right. But she was a very successful financial services executive. So she dealt with rich people's money and handled rich people's money. She was great at it. So she was always getting new clients and had really rich clients. So she was great at her job. She had a great salary. She was a millionaire, and she was doing very well.
Yeah, the Upper West Side is like where Columbia is, and Central Park is on the borders.
Okay,
it's like it's rich. The Upper East and the Upper
West. Then why was
West.
that whole apartment building a shit show?
I don't know. So maybe
and the whole hallway looked like a prison.
Yeah.
I don't know. Decorate your apartments better.
I just looked it up, and it says that the median price range of if you're buying an apartment is $1.84 million.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then why did they look like that?
Yeah. It's not as wealthy as the Upper East Side, but it's up there. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. The rich, good for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, she meets dick named Rod. Rod Covlin. This dick Rad is 11 years younger than her, even though he looks older than her.
And uglier.
Oh, ugly.
And dumber.
And they met at a Jewish singles night.
I just love everything about Jewish. Like, I love how they're like on J-Date and Jewish singles. They're looking for their people. They got to find each other.
This is how it was described.
But I feel bad that this is who she found.
I know. This is how it was described, how they met. That they see each other across the room and they are attracted like magnets. It's an instant attraction and love at first sight.
Why, Shele?
Because she is unsighted. Shele has Vaseline on her eyes. Her retinas were burnt out. Or she was ham-boned.
She was maybe fighting pink eye.
Yeah.
And the
she
drops.
had goopy pink eye.
Yeah, the drops made it hard to see. I don't understand.
Maybe she blew some cocaine up her butt.
Shele.
And she was just high.
What did you see?
So Shele is this kick-ass financial executive. Cute.
And her family also like owned they were like she kind of came from money,
right.
Whatever. She's
a lot put together. She's responsible. She's hardworking, and she's very pretty. And then there's Rod. Rod is a dumb bitch. He has jack shit, and he has zero career. He has no job. He's an out-of-work stock worker, and I don't even think he was that.
Yeah, that's what they said, but I'm like, when did he ever do it? I don't think he was working when they met, was he?
No, and they said he just used other people and just glommed off of them. I think he just went from friend to friend, living with friend to friend, and just stealing their money. Like, he was just a super douchebag. He had nothing of his own. And Shelley's family thought when she started bringing him around right away, dump him. He seems like a super weird loser. And Shele was like, oh, I don't know. And they were like, he's not even that good looking. He has no job. He's weird as hell. Something's wrong with him. And she was like, oh, I don't know.
She didn't see it.
She didn't see it. So they date for 6 months and then get married. And this is what I experienced this as well. I had severe Vaseline on the lens for my first marriage. They quickly whisk you along and you get married right away because then you're trapped. And you're so wrapped up in it. And I was so young that I didn't have the skills to say, hold up, this is fucked. Because I didn't want to disappoint everybody, even though your family's like thinking, why are you making such a stupid mistake, you dumb bitch? So I was here in this position. And then they have a daughter 2 years later. I was in the position
you were,
as well. Exactly.
Yes.
And then you realize you're fucked. And what are you going to do? Except I was not a millionaire. I was a hundredaire. I had $100. Still made more than my husband at the time.
Yeah.
So the marriage appears like it's, settled, going well. But of course, as always in these stories, behind closed doors, things are fucked. Fucked. Because Rod is a weird asshole. The weirdest thing ever, this fool has a ridiculous dream, goal, job that's so foolish.
It's to play He-Man in a movie that hasn't even been made yet.
That would be more realistic.
Oh.
His goal is to be a professional online backgammon player. You fool! You absolute fool! And if my husband at the time had said that, first of all, I'd be like, typical.
Right.
But I would be like, you are an absolute dumbass. What are you talking about? That for a job? What is you? insane? But then also my husband at the time had ridiculous ideas like that because that's what a fucking idiot with this dark
Narcissist,
triad
sociopath,
traits
Okay,
come
so
up with.
everyone so the show is basically, I mean, they have real photos of these of stupid Rod and
Rod is
Shele.
Just I mean, Rod might as well have said he's going to fart in jars. That would have been more productive. Or paint anuses. I mean, all of that would have been something better. Or do dick pics. I mean, any of that would make more sense.
Yeah, this didn't make any sense, and
especially since he sucked at backgammon.
That's
He
the
had
other
no
thing.
skills at it.
that's what I was going to say. The people who told the story about Rod and Shele was like this guy who looked like a Ken doll but had gray hair.
And his ears were Dumbo. He could have flown with them.
He was kind of a silver fox.
Oh, no, I thought you meant Rod.
Oh, no, not Rod. I mean,
Oh.
the three people that were kind of telling the story,
they were
right?
very good. Yeah,
silver
those people
fox.
were very good. Yes.
And then there was this lady who was like a therapist that had this long, beautiful
that
black
was Judy
hair.
Ho.
Yeah, Judy Ho,
Judy
Dr.
Ho.
Ho. And then this other lady who literally just threw shade left
I
and right.
loved it.
And she was like, Rod was literally horrible at backgammon, but he spent all of Shelley's money playing it online, or he would go to actually like community centers or places where they would have backgammon tournaments,
like
and
old
play
folks home
with
and beat a
90-year-olds.
dementia
Yeah.
90-year-old. I mean,
So that's
this is
probably how he ever
insane.
won ever, because he was playing people who
Had severe dementia.
had But then
or had no arms.
I feel like I need to go online and try to play it. I don't understand how to play it.
No, I don't either.
Have you ever played it?
No, I don't know how that shit works.
Listener, does anyone out there play
With all those
backgammon?
arrows and you move your dumbass
Yeah.
coins or whatever, your checker pieces.
You do roll dice, though. I like
don't
games
know.
with dice, but
But if he why didn't Shelley say, "Oh, this is it.
and it's my money.
This is it. Something's seriously wrong with your brain. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. This could be a hobby, but you're not using my money for it. You're just going to you might as well just be a stay-at-home dad and watch the kids. That's fine. You don't have a job. You're obviously not going to work because you're a wiener. Then be at home with the kids and take care of the kids and take care of the home. That's fine.
Right.
She makes enough money. But he wouldn't even do that. He wasn't taking care of the home or taking care of the kids or doing any of that. He's playing video games all day and being a total dick.
Yeah. Or going to the senior center.
And being a pointless waste of space anus.
And he was not helping with the children. So they had that little girl.
Yeah.
And then they had
another kid.
boy.
Yeah.
They had a boy after. So they had two kids. And then...
And the psychologists are all saying he is a true psychopath because
And
he had every descriptor of it, and he had a parasitic lifestyle.
Yes.
He just sucked her dry.
Silver
with
Fox said
the unrealistic goals, which psychopaths have, which I experienced firsthand, the unrealistic goals, which are in their mind so realistic, but to everybody else, it's so fucked and stupid. But to a narcissistic fuck, it's like, of course I can do it because I'm me. Well, no, you're a dumb shitbag. That's not possible. Besides Rod being a psychopath, a parasite, a narcissist, he also was cheating on her with dozens of women who also must have scratched their eyeballs out when high on Jenkum.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating with dozens of women. When do you have the time when you're playing all this backgammon with elderly people without arms? I mean, when do you have the time to pull your dick out?
He had a lot of time. And then he had the nerve to ask Shelley if she just wanted to have an open marriage.
So we can just pork out in the open.
Yeah.
And she said, nah.
I don't think so. Rod.
So this is when the psychologist says that Rod had the dark triad traits. So he had narcissism, he had psychopathy, and he had Machiavellism.
Yeah,
which is,
what is that?
I
mean, I know it's like a bad.
He was
but
manipulative. It means you manipulate the situation for your own gains and to gain power over every situation to get what you want.
I thought that was like narcissism, but I guess
No, it's like gaining power over the situation.
focus on self-interest, deception, and manipulation. Oh, narcissism is about self-importance and entitlement.
And Machiavellism, I guess, is linked to being also a whore, or the dark triads means you also are a whore. You sexually are whoring.
Oh yeah, because you have the need to manipulate people, and then also you want people to make you feel good, like to tell you how great you are. So you get around a lot. Yeah, I remember.
So these are great traits in a husband.
Yeah.
We both married someone like this.
Seems like when you're looking for the faithful bit of marriage, this would be right.
But when he asked for an open marriage, she should have said, yes, I'll open the door and you walk your ass through it. You fucker.
Yeah.
But she said, nope. And then Rod got real mad at that. He got mad, but he kept cheating. He didn't stop.
Yeah, you for sure didn't care.
So they get to 2009. They're married for about 10 years at this point. 10 years of putting up with this buffoonery. This pathetic buffoonery. Things are still terrible. Rod's still having his gross affairs. He wasn't hiding them at all. And at one point, he contacted 40 women through Facebook. Ish.
I know.
Absolutely gross. Shele wanted another child, though, with him. Oh, God. But she had to use a donor egg. And then Rod made her feel bad about her eggs being old. Why?
Were two kids? Were those other kids with a donor egg? Or
she had 2 young children already? I don't know. I think those maybe weren't a donor. I don't know. Actually, didn't say. And then there's this time in 2009 that Rod comes home at 6 a.m. from being out all night, and he smells of perfume still. And I thought, well, how nasty would that perfume be to be on him from all night? Was it Sex Panther? I mean, how did it stay on him? But he had this perfume on that was so strong, but he wanted Shele to smell it, to know he was with a woman all night. Yes. He was bathing in Sex Panther Jean Tay.
Yep.
So Shele then had just had enough. That was too much. The Jean Tay put her over the edge. She kicks him out and says, get out, you fuck. The backgammon didn't do it. The open marriage didn't do it. The Jean Tay did it.
Like you're doing this on purpose.
Yep. And so Rod moves across the hall into an apartment across the hall.
And she is paying for it.
She's paying for all of it. Oh. But they want it to be normal for the kids, so Daddy just lives across the hall. Like he's done anything for his kids anyway at this point. And Rod starts to become crazier and crazier than a shithouse rat since Shele kicked him out. He first starts to manipulate his kids and his toddler son, to say that his mom is sexually abusing him.
So gross.
Yeah. And that's
such
right there, he should have had his dick cut off.
Yes.
I would have come with my posse and cut off the dick for free for Shele. I would have done it for free.
It's 2025. You got to get those bitches back up. Right on.
Of course, a court judge saw right through this instantly.
Well, thank God, because sometimes they don't.
I know.
And then
and you get fucked. And it punishes Rod and says, now you're losing custody and you can't be around your kids at all unless you're supervised because you're a crazy batshit numbnuts.
Exactly.
And So Rod then starts being a super dick. He's hacking into her phone and her emails on her computer and reading and stalking wherever she goes. And then Rod apparently, I guess, is a martial arts expert.
But I think it meant he took like two karate
two
classes
online
or
classes
something.
or YouTube classes
In
from
between
old ladies.
backgammon.
In May 2009, Shele says that Rod chokes her in a martial arts hold and says, "I'm going to kill you." And so that freaks her out, of course. And so she changes all her locks and she gets a protection order against Rod.
But he still lives across the hall.
Yes. And because of that, Rod starts acting more and more unhinged because she dared go against him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, December 2009, Rod hacks her email again and learns that Shele takes him out of her will. Well, of course, he shouldn't be in her will.
No.
And, like, I think she wasn't going to pay him out in a divorce settlement or something. He's not getting shit from her. And Rod loses his mind at this. And she's trying to cut him off. So he just, like, farts an angry storm.
Yeah, and this is, of course, the most dangerous time for women, right? Like, we know as soon as you as women take a stand or say they want a divorce, this is when it becomes the most dangerous time.
When they think they're going to lose you, they fucking freak out and go, like, blind with rage.
Yes.
As you were blind in the eye with their looks. So December 30th, 2009, we see Shele on a camera outside of her apartment. The apartment, she's going in a gross side alley door to this multi-million-dollar apartment building, and it looks like a sex house. I feel like these apartments need to be fancier.
Yeah, it would just look kind of normal.
Yeah, no, I feel like she needs a doorman and a fancy, like,
I mean, there's like a lot of toys. I kind of did like it. That
when
I was
she like the camera, like when she's walking in the alley, she should have a nice doorman and everything. But she's walking into this shitty door. Oh well. But she goes into her apartment. She's been working all day, probably. She returns to her apartment at 8 p.m. Again, this is December 30th, 2009. And she walks in her hallway to her apartment. It looks like a prison hallway. This apartment hallway is just so cold and uninviting and shitty. This is people paying millions for these apartments. Why can't they have just nice carpeting and make it look all sophisticated?
It's not like it's only murders in the building.
No, this is shit.
Yeah.
All right, so Shele puts the kids to bed, and Rod is supposedly in his apartment playing backgammon across the hall. So the next day is New Year's Eve, 2009, and at 7 a.m., Rod Covlin calls 911. And he tells the 911 operator, "My daughter just showed up. She found her mother dead." And this is awful. So they show an actual picture of the bathtub that Shele was in.
It was not.
Yeah, it was full of water that was blood red.
Yeah.
So
like a lot of blood.
Yes, this was a horrible picture. So Shelley's daughter had gone into the bathroom that morning and found her mother dead in the bathroom.
Awful.
So she goes, of course, to her dad's apartment. He comes in. That's when Rod calls 911, says she was in the bathtub. Then he starts telling 911 and explaining the incident already. Well, she must have had an accident. It looks like she fell down and hit her head. And then he said he pulls her out of the water and he was doing CPR. So I guess firefighters or paramedics came first and they're like, yep, she's dead. The NYPD come and Rod again, says, I think she just fell and hit her head. The body is wrapped up completely in a comforter on the floor. And everybody, the first responders are like, yep, she's dead. And then Rod points out a bathroom cabinet that's up above the bathtub that's hanging on its hinges. And Rod says, I guess she tripped, hung on to that cabinet, She must have fell into the tub and hit her head. That's how she did it. And the first responders, the cops, say, sounds right to me.
Like this, we have heard this story. How many episodes do we have? I feel like people have tried to use this bathtub.
Like multiple times.
Wife fell
and
in
it's
the bathtub
always
thing.
a murder.
So many times.
So the cops go, yeah, this looks like, an accident. Let's call her good. And the cops leave. They do nothing. They do not seal off the scene. They do not take any evidence. They do not
fingerprints.
question anything.
No.
They do not do anything. They just say, yep, she died in an accident. Nothing seems wrong with the story at all. And nothing. They take no notes. No evidence. Nothing.
Right away, I would say that is not a fall in the bath. Why is there so much blood? That would be the first thing.
Right.
That I would be like, when people slip in the bathtub,
and
it's very
you don't
rare.
open your cabinet door and hang on to it and go like Flintstone your legs and go and then fall back
into your bathtub.
No.
It's very odd.
That is the dumbest thing ever. No one does that. No one.
No.
So then they kept saying a self-described undocumented rabbi. This undocumented, is that what they said? Or some self-described undocumented rabbi came in right away and cleaned up the scene immediately, like bleached the scene of the bathroom and the crime scene and cleaned it up immediately to prep for the funeral. And they kept saying, this undocumented rabbi.
Why did I miss this?
Well, yeah,
what does this mean? He just wasn't
a
rabbi in a
we don't
church?
know.
He just said, hey, I'm a rabbi.
Somebody Rod just hired.
Oh my God, what
something.
if he said just pretend to be a rabbi?
That's what they were like,
okay.
Who knows? So this guy comes in and cleans the whole bathroom, scrubs it clean with bleach, removes the bloody clothing and takes it out. Takes all evidence out and cleans it that day and just takes everything away. So it's all gone, any evidence. And then there's no autopsy for religious reasons, and she's buried pretty quickly. And that's it. The police did nothing. Nothing.
I know. It is
nothing.
Maddening.
I mean, what? What kind of a dumb asshole goes into a scene like that and doesn't do anything, and you're trained as a police officer or even a first responder, and you see that shit and that doesn't stand out as weird as hell, and you look at Rod and you don't think he's a weird asshole? You should have instinct saying this guy is fucked. This scene is fucked. The bruises all over her body.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
What kind of a poop brain? All sorts of a collective poop brain in that room.
They were all hungover from New Year's Eve.
I don't know.
Like, we don't want to
fucked
be here
as hell.
Yeah.
But then within 5 weeks, everybody comes out of their poop brain coma and says, wait, what? And so there's these issues that come up. One, they actually did videotape some of the scene, and the family says, wait, who plugged in Shele's cell phone? Because the crime scene, it was on her bed, but then it was plugged in afterward. I don't know what that means or what that means. Nothing came of it, but Rod obviously
took her phone.
Taking her phone, yeah.
And why did he plug it in? I don't know.
And then when they see the body in pictures, when the police look again, there's a shit ton of injuries all over her fucking face and her body. There's bruises all over her arms and her whole body.
For someone who just lost her balance and slipped in the tub.
You would have maybe a mark on your head.
Accidentally pulled off a mirror.
Yeah.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah. Why do you have bruises? Like, did you fall in the tub and like go around like a washing machine and go woo 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 swimming around
like a
bruises?
cartoon?
Yes.
It's not real.
What the hell? The cabinet was never dusted for prints, so they could have, but then she would have opened it She would have had her own prints on there. I don't know. She would have opened it before.
And his would have been in the
but his would have been
said
there.
Like, oh
Yeah.
well, I went in there.
His prints would have been all over
Yeah.
it. The family never even knew that she had a protective order against Rod. So they finally find out and they're like, oh my God, well then he obviously killed her. We never even knew he was like threatening to kill her. They didn't know about any of that. So then they're like, oh, holy fuck. So he obviously did this. So then they start pressing to get this case open.
Right.
Rod's story of dragging Shele from the bathtub and attempting CPR was horseshit because his clothes were totally dry.
Right.
Well, would the police
Why did they
question
see
that at the time?
Like, why didn't he? If there was that much blood, too, because it wasn't just like pink tinged
No,
water.
it was red.
It was fucking a lot of blood.
Like red, dark red
He would
water.
have had it on him.
I mean, this is absolutely just the dumbest of dumb.
This is a bungled cop.
So the detectives go, oh, maybe we should give this a second try.
Yeah.
And so they have to exhume her body, just giving her no rest in her afterlife.
But
I
they
guess,
literally started, they were really, like, they said when they were sitting Shiva, which is like
yeah,
right after the person dies, that they already were like talking like, this is fucked up.
well, because it was.
Yeah.
Come on.
But they still just buried her without an autopsy because that's what the rabbi told them to do. And,
Well, when they do the autopsy, they immediately see that her hyoid bone in her neck is broken.
And if you've ever watched true crime before in your life, you know that means she was strangled.
Right. So her neck was broken. And so the coroner is like, holy fuck, this is a homicide, you fucking idiots. I could have told you that right away.
Right.
Rod is the main and only suspect.
Not only is he the husband, but she also has a restraining order against him. And he's already tried all this bullshit with trying to tell his kids to say that they were molested, and now making his daughter go and find her dead mom. Like, this guy is a sick fuck. And it just gets worse, you guys. It just gets worse.
So 5 months later, they go and try to search his apartment for clues, or go back to her apartment and now search for clues, looking for a weapon. Well, he strangled her with his bare hands.
Right.
They find nothing, of course, because the place was totally clean.
Right.
They said, by that undocumented rabbi, they kept saying. Well, duh, you total piss brains. Months turn into 6 years.
This is so bad.
That go by, that Rod just goes on with his life. He's acting still like a weird dumbass. His children, since he's a total psychopath and doesn't know how to be a dad because he's Rod, his children go to move in with Rod's parents. But since Rod is so incapable of even taking care of himself, he moves in later with his parents.
And like, this is so telling because his own mom and dad were like, this guy is not taking care of his kids.
They knew he was a shitbag.
Yes. And right away they were like, he can't be with them.
Yeah, they knew he was a total loser.
And so they took the kids almost right away.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, if they're going to raise my kids, they might as well raise me again too. And moved in with and still didn't parent them.
No. So Shele left all her money, $5.2 million, to her children. But Rod, of course, felt entitled to all that money. So Rod's parents knew Rod was a total fuck shit stick, and that Shele was their only good parent, and that he was a total fucking loser. And Rod starts stealing the kids' money for himself, and he steals $80,000 right away. His parents go ballistic on him because there's tapes.
And for some reason, there's tapes of this, and they're like, "You are taking your money from your kids."
And yeah,
you're
Rod's
taking
like, I don't
they're
care.
not going to be able to go to college.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't worked. You never worked a day in your life. Their mother did everything.
Yeah. And so then he just mouths off back to his parents and like treats them like shit.
Well, yeah, he's like, if you fucking don't shut up, I'm going to take the kids and you'll never see him again.
And they're like, oh yeah, you try it, you wimp, you fucking dick. But Rod needs them, and they know that. So then Rod gets another girlfriend, a very handsome girlfriend named Debra, the handsomest. And I'm sure he's using her for money as well.
What was her last name? It was something.
Deborah Otis or something.
Yeah.
Oris or something. So handsome Debra and Rod. So Rod wants to get more money, so he comes up with different schemes that totally make sense. These are, he could get a job, but these schemes are really, Rod's coming around, getting smart, because these schemes make sense. He decides that his 13-year-old daughter, he could pretend she gets kidnapped, and then he can marry her off to a Mexican in Mexico and then get the kidnapping money and use that to live off of.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What? So you fake a kidnapping of your 13-year-old, marry her off to a guy in Mexico,
and have
who pays the ransom then? And how do you get the ransom? And where do you find a guy in Mexico?
And who cares if you've just sent your daughter to Mexico?
Right. He doesn't care about that. I mean, what? This plan. What?
Oh, and this isn't even the worst plan.
But the next plan was he was going to pretend she was going to confess to her mother's murder. And she would have been like 7 at the time.
Yes, he tried to frame his own daughter.
So he writes an email as his daughter saying, I was mad at her because she was dating a lot of guys, so we were fighting while she was in the bathtub and she fell down.
I pushed her and she fell.
Yeah, so a 7-year-old girl is going to wrestle with their naked mom in the bathtub?
No.
That doesn't make sense.
Nope.
What? I mean, my God, this guy is so fucked in the head. And so none of these plots, of course, worked because they're so fucking stupid. And his parents grow so sick of Rod that they change the locks too. And handsome Debra films him trying to get into his parents' house, and he can't because the locks are changed. And then he says, I'm a resident. He gets so mad.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not a resident.
And this is also being taped.
Yeah, she videotapes it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a resident. No, you're not.
Mm-mm.
So then Rod gets mad and attacks his parents. He pushes and shoves his dad and his mom. Mm-hmm. And then he's wants to get rid of his parents. He wants to kill them. So he wants to murder his parents, and so he researches different poisons. And then he tries to get his own daughter to poison them. What kind of a shitbag is this?
Yep.
But then he tells handsome Debra that he wants to trap his parents in their house and set it on fire. Now, on my other podcast, Isaac Newton said the same thing about his parents. He hated his parents so much. He actually said he wanted to trap them in his house and set it on fire. And he's a genius. So Rod and Isaac Newton are similar.
Just eating apples.
Yep.
And
they are similar.
Yep.
So then the weirdest one, not that these weren't weird. The weirdest one is that Rod, now he leaves the setting the house on fire idea and goes to this one. And the poisoning idea. Rod is going to dress up as a black man, a door-to-door salesman or politician, and ring at his parents' door. And then when his mom answers the door, he's going to choke her out with his martial arts skills.
Oh, again, with the martial arts.
What the hell? So you dress up. And so he actually went to a costume store with handsome Debra and bought costume to dress up as a black politician, ring the doorbell, and choke out his mom. What kind of a dumb asshole is this guy?
Going to do blackface?
Yes.
And then kill his parents.
And the whole time, handsome Debra is going along with all of this.
She's just like, okay, he's getting a mustache. He's getting some face paint. He's getting an afro wig. And it just keeps going.
Oh. And then Rod gets a job under a fake name. I be Fartin.
Perfect. You're just the man for the job.
Yeah. His fake name is Rod Summer. come on.
Yeah, that didn't even try.
And he's a loan collector. How do you just get in 2015? This is or 13. How do you get a fake name job?
I don't understand
I don't
it.
know.
Because
So-
don't you have to have a social security
I think
card
so.
with your
I don't
name
know.
on it?
And so everyone at the job thinks he's totally weird, IB Fartin, because they say, I think this guy lives out of a hotel and he reeks like booze.
Yes,
And then he constantly is freaking out at work
but
and
he
yelling
just
at everybody.
like acts so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so it's not just his parents. It's not
No.
just Shele. It's not just he's fucked up.
Yes. And so handsome Debra finally has had enough. And she decides she's
thank
going
God.
to record their conversations and keeps all these recordings and ends the relationship and goes to the police, and she becomes the star witness that they need. So now, November 2015, he's finally arrested and charged for murder of his wife. So he was also 2 months away from getting 1.5 million from Shelley's estate.
Yeah.
Because he murdered her before she could change everything.
And it had been so long.
Yes.
So many years in, what do you call it? When it's like in probate
Breath.
or whatever.
Now, it took 3 years for the trial to finally get started.
So
And his
dumb.
mother, even he was going to choke out his mother, set her on fire, poison her. But that dumb bitch sat on his side of the trial and supported him.
I have to tell you, I listened to the Dateline podcast of this, and they both his mom and dad. I couldn't believe when I was watching this that they were like yelling at him and saying like, "You're a piece of shit. You never did anything," because the whole them on Dateline were like totally supportive of him. He fucking tried to kill them
Multiple times.
He took money away from their grandchildren, $80,000. He tried to frame his own children
For murder.
and then
He was going to sell his daughter
Yeah.
to Mexico.
and then they fucking support him now.
Why are they so dumb?
I don't get it.
Well, immediately he's found guilty because he's such a dumbass. And he got 25 years to life. And this is him when he heard. He cries. He has no emotion, so it's fake crying. And of course, Shelley's family is so relieved, but they're like, it still doesn't bring back Shelley, but at least this dick doesn't get to walk around anymore.
No.
I just a psychopath and a narcissist with all those bad traits. I can't imagine worse for your partner in life. I mean, I can because I lived it. It's not good.
And then, unfortunately, I think because people who are narcissists and who are psychopaths somehow control other people around them.
Yes.
His parents come back and support him, and his own children wrote the judge and didn't want him to get sentenced.
Ugh.
Like the children that
We're going to be
produced
blamed.
evidence.
Oh.
Yeah, that he was going to sell one
I
of
hope
them.
they became
Made one of them
free-
go find her mother.
Yes. I hope they became free of his spell when he
Never
went to
took
jail.
care of them. And then I'm pretty sure on the Dateline they said that the kids were still with his parents.
Oh,
not
my God.
hers.
That's unreal.
But again, don't quote me on it because I sometimes make things up.
I don't know. I don't know.
Literally, he's so despicable.
This is a gross human being, an unnecessary human being. I don't
fucking
understand
hate
why we
him.
needed him on Earth.
No. Well, luckily, he's not out. He's in New York State, in Buffalo, somewhere in prison.
I'm sure he's leading a group of
Karate. He's
Karate
probably has his
group.
own dojo in prison.
telling people how to choke out their moms
and play backgammon.
And he's leading several groups, I bet. He's having the time of his life.
Backgammon club.
Yeah. He's loving every minute.
A backgammon dojo.
Yeah.
Ugh, fuck you, Rod Covlin.
He's a fool. A fool. I mean, for narcissists to think so highly of themselves and then to be such fucking failures all the time. They're all failures.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute useless failures.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
Yeah.
They accomplish nothing, do nothing.
Leech off of other people.
And I just have no purpose.
Once in a while, they get what's coming to them. But
yes.
it's so maddening because they can never say, I'm sorry, or admit.
Never.
Because they just
They
don't
can't.
think
They
that
don't
they
have
are.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
At all.
It's hard.
It is hard to deal
with a dark triad.
Yes, it is.
Luckily, our husbands are so great.
Yeah.
So that's all for us this week. Join us again next week when we talk about a different dick.
Yep.
Again, join our Facebook. I'm kind of upset about this whole Meta Mark Zuckerberg being a total dick.
He's been a total dick the whole time.
Yeah.
But they're all, I don't know. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for, we're just going to find out. But I love our little corner of Facebook.
Yeah.
So again, feel free to join us. Once you join the group, we let you in, and then you can look at all the funny memes and be a part of our book club, because that was the highlight of my January.
Instagram too. We can take a snapshot and put it on Instagram, and they can type it in.
Oh, we have to type then.
Yeah.
That's so hard. All right, you whores. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.